Welcome back, everyone. It's FNews57 here. Today I'm on a new game, well, newer game, and that's going to be Fallout Shelter. So this will be my review and gameplay for this game. Now, it did release about a total of 45 days ago from when I'm recording it, and I waited to do this review because the game was a little bit buggy when it first came out. Now, I'm going to go over the pros and cons and kind of what this game is about. It is a sim category game, and it's decent, but there was a few pretty big bugs in the beginning, and that's why I waited to do the video. So, as you can see, I have worked on this a little bit. There's a lot of stuff going on, and there's a ton of different things that you can build. Now, with that being said, it's not the most advanced sim, as there isn't a shit ton of rooms. It is more advanced here on the Xbox One than what it originally was on the phone app. And for those of you looking at the achievements, it's relatively easy to get the achievements. So, as most sims you'd expect, you have resources that each room creates, and it is based in the Fallout lore, so that was what made it cool for me. You can level up people, you can train their stats, there's quests, they do different things. Of course, you have always relatively limited inventory space, and you can check that, through the options menu. You can see what gear you have, what junk, pets, all kinds of stuff like that. So there's crafting, themes, weapons, outfits, all different stuff like that in the game. Overall, I would say it's pretty cool. I would have to give the game about a 7 out of 10. It could be a little bit better than that, but it's one of the games that you can't sit here and play forever. Now, the reason why I'm going to say that is when you start off, you just have like one room and you can't keep your resources adequate to the time spent on the game. So basically, you have to log in, collect your resources, handle any attacks or anything like that that pop up, and then move on. You need to do that so that basically after like 3 or 4 minutes or something like that, the game no longer drains resources, but the rooms continue their production. And the problem that I have with this game on Xbox is the fact that everything, it runs off of real time. So, like it says 30 seconds, well, that's because I have a fully upgraded room. Normally, a lot of these rooms might take 4 or 5 minutes. People that you're training, as you see, I can collect the train level for him, and now it's going to be 4 hours. So this is one of those games that you have to check and then come back to. Meaning that you can't really stay on it and play for hours at one time. However, it's not incredibly bad if you don't have hours to play. Now, one thing I will recommend, a little bit of a tip, is go ahead and train your dwellers as soon as you can, because they do give you caps. At the moment, I'm not having a problem earning caps because of the fact that I have so many dwellers working on so many different things, and I got a lot of caps from the Wasteland. Now, you might notice if you're just starting the game that, of course, your resources are very limited, and you will see things in the store that you want. Now, the things in the store are pretty cool, and I have to give this game credit for how they did the store. So, you can go down to, I believe it is... No, it's not that one. I just have to find it real quick. That tab, and go over to shop. And it will show you the different things that you can buy. The game is free, but there is microtransactions. Now, originally when this came out, these microtransactions weren't working. What I love about the game is you don't have to actually spend any money on these microtransactions. All these items, like the Mr. Handy and lunch boxes and things like that, you can actually get them several different ways. There's status daily reports that every day you can collect, and they'll give you caps at the end of a week. They'll give you a lunchbox. You can find legendary weapons, outfits, and things like that with your adventures just exploring, which is pretty cool. And you can get all that rare stuff from the lunchboxes, and even some stuff from quests. Now, I will say another slight drawback is the bigger the base you make, the harder it can be to find certain things like the Mystery Man and other limited events that pop up. But the most annoying part is the control scheme. You can only move what room you're on with the left thumbstick, and the camera with the right thumbstick. Zoom in with the right trigger, zoom out with the left trigger. So it does get a little bit annoying because it feels like the game would be better moved from room to room using the D-pad, but they have the controls set up to rush using the D-pad and to upgrade also using the D-pad. So unfortunately the D-pad's taken. Now, with that being said, I'm going to show you I have some people that are back from a quest, and just to prove it, from this quest I earned a legendary weapon recipe, a pet, a piece of salvage, some rare weapons, and some theme fragments. So all of that stuff, like I said, you can earn. You don't have to actually buy it, which is really cool. So I've gotten a couple of Mr. Handy. As you can see, they are down here on the bottom floors, just wandering around, picking up resources. Once you have one Mr. Handy, you're pretty much good, and your base will always have full resources while you are offline, so no rooms will shut down, none of your people will die, lose health, anything like that. Of course, actively collecting the rewards helps because sometimes you earn caps. Then you can send your dwellers out on quests via the Overseer's control room, and you'll see like right here there's a daily quest, a weekly quest, and then there's just regular quests that you can do as well, all of them with varying rewards. So for this particular one, this is a later quest, and I am going to go ahead and send my team out on it, the same team that I use typically every time for all of my quests. They're technically like my best people, and you have to equip them with the specific weapon that is needed for that particular quest line. In this case, it's the plasma rifle, which the bad thing is I don't have another plasma rifle. So since I don't have another plasma rifle, I actually don't have the ability to start this quest. Therefore, I'm going to go do the game show gauntlet just because it's easier. Again, this is one of those things that takes real time, so you do kind of have to watch yourself with it. It's not exactly the most fun because you kind of have to come back to it, per se. Send them out with max health packs and Radaway, and start the quest. Now, you do have Nuka-Cola, which is something that you can buy. You can also find on quests in the Wasteland, but it is a relatively rare resource. That's like the premium resource that you use to expedite things like quests and stuff like that. Like if I go over here to the Overseer's office, you'll see it takes 20 hours for these people to arrive. Then you can do the quest, and then it's going to take almost 20 hours for them to get back. So that's the only thing that I don't like, is about how long those quests take. It feels like for Xbox it should be sped up just a little bit, even if it was only sped up by 20%. This way you could do more on the game at one time. Now you'll see, of course, I'm going to come and have another attack happen. That's the Rad Scorpion. There's not much that I can do about it because I don't have people stationed, and there's no way to turn off those incidents. You just kind of have to deal with them. So I'm going to take a quick second, deal with this Scorpion, because if you don't kill it in the room that it's in, it will actually spread to other rooms. Sometimes they will multiply. So you kind of have to find the room, zoom out, and you'll find the room that's under attack. It's this room up here currently. And I'm just going to keep pressing the A button to cycle through my people in the room. Luckily, none of them died. Now, the scorpion is the most annoying because he's going to pop up in another room and cause havoc. Yep, as you can see, he's in this room causing havoc. She doesn't have a weapon, so I'm going to give her a sniper rifle. And we got to make sure that she doesn't die. And now you'll see that the scorpion is going to this room down here on the bottom where I do have a Mr. Handy. I also have a couple other people, and you'll see, there we go. Scorpion is dead. I should give this person a weapon, so go ahead and give him a sawed-off shotgun just in case. You do have a limited amount of storage space on this game. You can check your storage space via the inventory tab right there. You'll see all of your weapons and space. You'll see all of your outfits. You can also scrap an outfit, or you can sell an outfit. Both of those work. You simply select the item or items, like say sturdy combat armor, and you can either press X to sell it for caps or Y to scrap it. It's up to you what you want to do. Last but not least, you have objectives. These change as soon as you complete them. You can also skip one per day without any cost. You can skip additional ones at a cost of Nuka-Cola. You'll see that I have send 9 dwellers to the wasteland, which is very simple. I could do that if I wanted to at this point and send dwellers out. That would basically be about the only other thing that I could do. I am going to do one last thing, and that is show you what you get from these lunch boxes. I saved them up from quests and weeklies just to show you that you do get them for free. Now, when you open them, you usually get a lot of junk. That's one thing I'm not very impressed with. Occasionally you get, a legendary item, but most of the time you just get junk. Rare outfits, some food, some water, things like that. They're very helpful at the beginning of the game. Not so much once you get through the game and start to get established a little bit. The junk is important, but everything else, not so much. Now you'll also see that I have a pet carrier. And I got Nuka-Cola Quantum. That's pretty good. And a legendary piece of junk, which is pretty good as well. That's scrap. More caps, universal currency. A lot of this stuff did come from quests. That's why you see I have a pet carrier there, and I also have another Mr. Handy. Mr. Handy can be sent out into the wasteland to collect caps for you. Keep that in mind. They're not as good at collecting caps as, adventurers are, but they don't die, so that's a trade-off. Now, the pet carrier does basically the same thing as the lunchbox, except you get a random pet. And this one's going to be 2 times wasteland return speed. Alright, not bad. Cool pet, I'll keep it. And of course, from a quest, I have another Mr. Handy. So you open him up, and bam, you have a Mr. Handy. Alright, that's all the stuff to open. Now you will notice that Mr. Handy will appear outside of your vault in whatever line of people you have waiting for your vault. As you can see, there's a Mr. Handy, collect on. You're going to hold A on him, go ahead and bring him into the vault, and select what floor you wish him to be on. Now remember, he will only collect resources on that floor, and yeah, my base is not really set up ideally for collecting resources. So you want to kind of set them up on the best floor possible. In this case, I'm always low on power, so I'm going to go ahead and put him down in that power room. You can also send him out to collect caps, and the way you would send an adventurer out into the wasteland, if you wished to do so, is simply to click on the adventurer, press and hold A, and move him all the way to the top into that little yellow box. Press A again, you can select what he has, go down and hit the explore button. or you can hit the red button to ban them from your vault. All in all, pretty decent game, but the bad thing is, right now at this point, I could level up my people. I'm not doing that for a specific reason, but other than that, and sending some people out into the wasteland, there's nothing more that I can do. I literally just have to wait and then check back in a few hours. So in a way, the game's good because, like, for me, I can check it once before I head out to work in the morning, and then I can check it again when I come back in the evening, and usually everything's available for me to collect. Personal preference on what you think of the game. I think the control scheme could have been done a little bit better, and I would have liked to see a slightly faster timing, even if it was only taken down by maybe 15 or 20%, just to make it for console players who are normally playing for like an hour or more at one time, to give them something more to do without just having to quit the game and check back later. All in all, pretty decent for a free sim game. Pretty good, actually. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, make sure you leave a comment, share the video with a friend, and of course, subscribe for more content. Until next time, stay frosty.